From gruesome punishments to horrifying rituals, here are 20 facts about dark corners of history they don't teach you in school. Number 20. Medieval torture devices. Back in the Middle Ages, there were all sorts of ghastly inventions designed to inflict pain and suffering on those deemed enemies of the state or accused of crimes. One of the most infamous was the Iron Maiden, a towering metal cabinet with spikes inside that would slice and dice its victims as it slowly closed them in. Then there was the rack, where the victim was strapped down and pulled apart until their bones snapped. And don't forget Scold's Bridle, a muzzle-like device with a cage that would cover the victim's head and make them look like a monster. These tortures weren't just scary, they were meant to be a warning to others. Number 19. The Donner Party. This group of American pioneers set out for California in 1846, but they got lost and ended up stranded in the Sierra Nevada mountains during winter. What followed was an unimaginable nightmare. With no food or shelter, the group resorted to eating their dead, including children. The most horrific part is that some members even turned to cannibalism before the others died. Number 18. The Siege of Leningrad. During World War II, Nazi Germany laid siege to the Russian city of Leningrad, blocking off food supplies. The goal was to starve out the residents. Over time, people started to die from starvation, leading to a desperate act of survival, cannibalism. It was a terrible reality for many. Some resorted to eating dogs and cats, while others tragically consumed their own children. Number 17. Viking ship burials. Vikings had a unique way of burying their dead at sea. They would place the body of the deceased on a ship, along with treasures and sometimes even human sacrifices, then light the ship on fire and push it into the water. This ensured that the person would have a fiery send-off as they joined their ancestors in the afterlife. Number 16. Tibetan sky burial. In some Tibetan villages, the tradition of leaving bodies exposed on mountaintops for vultures to eat still exists. Instead of saving the body for burial or cremation, the deceased are left in the open air, which some believe helps the soul escape and be reborn. But for us, it looks pretty grim. Number 15. Witch trials. Most people know about the infamous Salem witch trials, but what many don't realize is that similar things happened in other places like Germany, Africa, and India. Thousands of people were accused of witchcraft and put on trial. Many didn't survive the ordeal. Some were burned alive, while others were hanged or killed through more brutal means. Number 14. Mummies of Palermo. Deep in the Italian catacombs of the Capuchin monks in Palermo, there's a chilling display of mummified bodies. These aren't Egyptian mummies, but rather the remains of people who died from diseases like tuberculosis and the plague. The monks kept these mummies as a reminder of the dangers of disease and death. Number 13. Plague doctors. During the Black Death outbreak in Europe, doctors wore terrifying masks to protect themselves from the plague. These masks, often made of leather and wax, had a long beak-like shape and were filled with aromatic substances. While they looked spooky, the idea was to ward off bad smells and prevent disease transmission. Did they work? Well, maybe not against the plague, but definitely against looking any less creepy. Number 12. Dancing plague. In 1518, something bizarre happened in Strasbourg, France. Hundreds of people started dancing uncontrollably in the streets for days, even weeks. They danced non-stop, sometimes until they dropped dead from exhaustion or heart attacks. No one knows exactly what caused this, but theories range from mass hysteria to poisoning. It must have been one wild scene. Number 11. Trepanation. This was a common practice in ancient medicine, especially in South America and Europe. It involved drilling a hole into the skull to treat various conditions like headaches or epilepsy. It may sound crazy today, but back then, it was seen as a way to release evil spirits or balance the body's humors. Just imagine the pain and risk involved. Number 10. Aztec human sacrifices. The Aztecs were known for their impressive empire, but also for their brutal practices. To honor their gods, They would perform human sacrifices, often on a massive scale. They believed that by giving the gods blood, they would keep the world in balance. This led to countless deaths. Victims were often put to death in horrific ways, like being chopped apart or having their hearts ripped out. Number 9. Saw executions. In medieval Europe, being sentenced to death by saw was a horrible fate. As the executioner slowly cut through the victim's body with a large saw, it was a public spectacle meant to be a warning to others. It was not only painful, but a humiliating way to go. Number 8. Blood Eagle. The blood eagle was a terrifying execution ritual practiced by Vikings. It involved cutting the ribs out of a person's back and spreading them apart to form the shape of an eagle. The victim was either left to bleed to death or had their heart cut out while they were still alive. Talk about a gruesome way to go. Number 7. Rat torture. Believe it or not, rats were used as tools of torture in both China and Europe. In China, rats were set loose in pits with their prey below, biting and gnawing on their bodies. In Europe, rats were attached to wheels and then rolled over the victim's body, inflicting pain and psychological terror. Talk about a nightmare scenario. Number 6. Child sacrifice. Back in the ancient times, the Carthaginians had a strange custom of sacrificing children to their gods. They believed that by offering children, usually their firstborn sons, they could bring good luck and success. They did this by burning the kids alive or using them as human shields in battles. It's hard to imagine such cruelty. Number 5. The Cadaver Synod. In 1484, Pope Sixtus IV died. But before he was buried, his body was put on trial for heresy and immorality. This might sound crazy, but it actually happened. The trial lasted several months, with monks acting as judges and theologians defending the dead pope. In the end, the pope's body was found guilty and exhumed. Talk about a scandalous story. Number 4. Corpse medicine. In Europe during the 16th and 17th centuries, there was a weird practice called corpse medicine. People believed that the powder made from ground-up human bodies could cure illnesses like gout and rheumatism. Yikes. Although it sounds disgusting now, back then it was seen as a way to use the power of death for healing. Number 3. Victorian postmortem photography. During the Victorian era, it was fashionable to take pictures of the dead. These postmortem photos were a way to remember loved ones who had passed away. In these images, the deceased were often posed as if they were still alive, sometimes even dressed in fancy clothes. It might seem odd to us now, but back then it was a way to cope with death. Number 2. Burial alive fears. For centuries, people in Europe were afraid of being buried alive. If you died and woke up underground without air, you would suffocate. To avoid this, many people requested to be buried in safety coffins that had a bell attached. If you started to wake up, you could ring the bell and someone would come to dig you out. Number 1. Ancient battlefield cannibalism. Throughout history, there have been cases of people eating their enemies after battle. This wasn't just done by the Aztecs and other ancient civilizations. Even in modern history, the Jamestown colony in 1609 resorted to cannibalism when they were starving. Desperate times call for desperate measures, but that doesn't make it any less disturbing. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and share this video with fellows. Your support helps us bring you more captivating content like this.